that you're here. I hope you'll join me today. I'm going to show you how to make some realistic looking clipboards and how to use bulldog clips in your paper crafting. Got some information on where you can get some free ones, and I'll see you in a minute. Thanks for joining me. Oh, I'm so glad you're joining me today. One of the ideas that I have, let me just show you very quickly. This particular listing has really the base of what you're getting, okay, are these clips, and they can be printed any size, okay? But there's a lot of different ways you can use them in your journals. And so one of the things that I did include was some printable clipboards if you want. Totally unnecessary, but kind of to try and give you an idea of what I intended. And of course, what's even better for me is if someone doesn't use them the way I intended and it sparks their creativity in a way that I had no idea. Okay, so I'm just showing you what was in my head. I don't even know if something like this has been done before. I think clipboards have been done before, but I don't know. I think Tim Holtz has a die cut set that has those, but they're not like this, and I'm just going to kind of show you my intention here. So they have these clipboards and then a few background pages, and then it also includes a whole ton of photographs, which I chose not to print up because what I'm working with right now and what I'm working with having to navigate using is I ended up printing up my spring photos kit. Oh my gosh, what the heck was I thinking? Do you know that photo kit probably would go with any journal? Some of these photos are, you know, they'll go great in the summer, but I think I ended up with like 400 photos. It might have been more like 350 or something like that, but I was so stunned. These are just the small ones, this size, that will fit in this journal, and a lot of them are actually on cabinet card. So I'm just showing you kind of some of what is there, but that kit is so loaded. So if you like the idea of using the clips, you can also purchase this one. These are the Spring Joy photos. It has a page or two of clips. They just happen to be a little bit different color and a little bit different style. You'll see some of them will fit for Easter, but for the most part, a lot of these are not pertaining only to Easter. I don't even need to show you them all. There are so many, and there are different sizes. And so the reason I didn't print up the ones that go with this kit is that I'm swimming literally in these ones that I need to use first. And that was kind of what the inspiration was for this, was to be able to give you guys an idea of how to use these. So to get started, what I've done is I've cut out 4 of the clipboards and I've mounted them on cardstock, okay? Or excuse me, not cardstock, cardboard. Okay, it's fairly decent cardboard, okay? And I like the firmness. You choose the firmness that you want, but I'm also going to put my background page on a little bit lighter cardboard. And one of my favorite, I live alone. This is my diet. You can laugh. Not my favorite, but I have a lot of these. I probably, like end up with one of them a day or something like that. So but I like the weight of this cardboard is what I'm trying to get at. It's a lot thicker than just cardstock, but it's not so thick that it won't bend a little bit. So what I'm going to do right now, I wanted you to see the difference in the strength. You choose the heaviness of the cardboard if you're going to even use cardboard, and you may not even choose to use the included clipboards, because I'll show you how to use them without the clipboard, because the Spring Joy Photos doesn't have clipboards included, because I thought that was self-explanatory. I'm really going to hope this, because my mind doesn't think the way that the people that are using my digitals do. And I don't mean this in any way, but I have what I had in mind, right? And people do things so differently, and each one of them is such an amazing inspiration and choice and challenge for me to watch people just do different things. So I often don't like to actually give too much information about, you know, what my intended use was, because then you guys just kind of think that that's what I intended. And, you know, the actual probably truth is that I saw, if I'm probably not creating something unless I saw 4 or 5 uses for it. Now, a shape in my junk journal kits, or, you know, something else. I like things to have multiple uses. So see what I did here? I'll need a couple of those if I'm gonna, yeah, this will just do 2. So let's do this background too. I'm gonna off camera glue these and cut them out so that it will end up with 2 pieces, both with the paper stuck on it. One will have the clipboard on it, and the other one will have your backing of choice. Or you can just use your paper that matches your kit or your project that you're working on right now. These are perfect for grungy stuff. I don't do a lot of grungy stuff, not because I don't love it or I don't enjoy it. Actually, that's not true. It's the most challenging. It's that steampunk grunge, that's the most challenging style for me personally. While I absolutely love it, I feel like remarkably intimidated by it. I can't even tell you why that is. It just seems to be how it is for me. So you use the type of paper you want. You'll need one. You don't even have to have the clip, because I'll show you what to do with the clip if you want to just come back with 2 pieces. So I'll be right back. Okay, let's just do these one at a time. So you'll notice that I left quite a bit at the top here, because I'm going to actually want it to back each part. So let me just show you what I did in order to get the same shape. I just turned this way, and basically these are not exactly square because they're meant to kind of, I'll show you what my plan is, but they're not exactly square. But so I just flipped it over the opposite side so that I knew, and kind of traced an outline and cut it out. So I have this shape here, and this I didn't cut exact, knowing that I was going to be gluing it onto this other side. What you'll need, I don't have a mat. My mat didn't make it through my move, a cutting mat. So you'll need a knife, and you'll need something that's fairly sharp. This is difficult because the ones that are very easiest happen to be, I'll just start with that one, the ones with a straight edge. So if you allow your ruler to meet exactly where the edge of that clip is, and then use your knife make sure you've gone all the way through. Yeah. And then you're just going to go up in the sides of your clip that follow along the edge of your clip. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but you don't want to go too far because this is just enough where you're going to show that this is overlapping your, let's see. See, I want, yeah, so can you see how it's just barely enough on each side where this is gonna be able to pop up? Do you see this? Okay, that's what I'm referring to, just doing just that enough. And that's part of why putting this on cardstock is important, okay? And one thing I should have mentioned is it's better than the way that I'm going to be doing this, but sometimes I get flustered when I'm talking to you guys. This can go on after, right? Of course, there's no mistakes, but I'll have to cut this again. But you'll want to put some kind of tape on the back, like masking tape, washi tape. You can also use this Echo Craft tape that I use the heck out of. Yes, I've used 2 of these this year in the construction of my journals. Okay, so putting that on the back there, I'm going to have to cut through this again because I need to cut through the tape. But you want to put something on there that will strengthen this little clip. And the reason that I'm using something that is two-sided with a front and a back is because, see, we're going to have this little kind of, I don't know if you can tell, we have made a little space for a clip. And some of the things that make it look more realistic happen to be inking. So I like to really, I'm just looking for my ink. So this is really hard too because it's kind of a smaller space. And I have yet to find a good tool that doesn't get my hands all yucky, but it helps it to look more realistic if what you do is really ink the edges here, because then you don't see the paper. So I feel like that's kind of an important step. So the next thing you're going to do, okay, is go ahead and glue these together. And don't worry if your edges don't exactly match. It's great if they do, but if they don't, it's okay. And you could put anything on the back. I've used, there's a tutorial on my channel that has, I think it's called Snow Kissed. Anyways, I use the metal tape and emboss it. And that actually looks really awesome on the back of these. I could have done an example, but for real, guys, I got so overwhelmed this past week. I had to do taxes, and it just, I don't know about you guys, but I live in the US, and every year right around this time, that they just really get to me. I don't know what that's about, but anyways, I've been struggling to get back on track with all of these incredible ideas swimming around in my head, and it's taken me a bit to get feeling well enough to film them. But, you know, that's part of my life with the neurological conditions that I have. So I'm not beat myself up too much about it. And this week I had to ask Cheryl, my design team member, for help, and I really appreciate people that when I share with them what's happening for me, that they're gracious and they're kind. Not everyone is, guys. She's really an exceptional person. I really appreciate her. Okay, so I've kind of gotten those to match now. And the same thing with this, because this is metal. So I would say cut your the back part of it out. Actually, before we do that, let's rough up all the edges before we ink everything. So I got out some extra sandpaper because I didn't know if this was going to be strong enough. This is like a little, what you use for charcoal. I keep this in my tools so that I can use those fairly rapidly, but I thought I might need a little bit more. Get these the way you want. So I was going to use a corner punch, but I don't think I want to do that. And this, I'm paying attention to it not exactly being uniform. So what I'm just going to do is get these to kind of match, the edges to match, by doing a little bit of sanding. I'm going to sand and ink both sides so that I can get them to look like they're one piece, and so that they're distressed a little bit too. So could have had this dry a little more. You kind of get the idea. I'm not going to spend my whole time sanding, but so if you sand the top too, that helps it to each part of it. Pay attention to your back. There's so many things you could put on the back here, guys. You could put pockets. You could glue this only on 3 sides and actually have it be a hidden tuck spot if you wanted for another place for a photo. I mean, the possibilities really are quite endless, what you could put in this kind of element, but you see that it's fairly tough. And what I need to do now is ink, but I need my bigger dauber in order to do that. So you can see, one way to finish it is just with the vintage photo ink. Okay. The ink is really one of my favorite friends in junk journaling. Most of you that have been doing it for a while know this, but did you know, if you're new to junk journaling, that a good reason why we do it, not only does it enhance how our edges look, but it often camouflages or hides imperfections in our cutting or, you know, our other assembly skills. It's kind of cool how that works. Okay, so there's kind of a completed one, and you can see what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of addition a few different photos here. So what you're going to do, let's see, we're just going to, at the first part, you might have to open this just a little bit. Make sure you've got a good opening there, but you can see, there's my knife. Especially after I glued it together, make sure that I don't have anything that's preventing that. Like maybe I got a little bit of glue there. I'm not sure, but yeah, I did actually have a little bit of glue there. But you can see that the difference between like just sticking it on and not is that it actually looks like it's clipped to a clipboard, and it actually kind of actually is. I'm not sure I would keep it there long term without maybe putting a little bit of reinforcement glue, but I'm looking to create a cluster of a couple of these. So, and because I'm working on the journal that I am, I will probably go with more like this type of photo, but you can see that, oh, here's another one. Okay. And so where I'd put the glue is just there at the top. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera for a second and I'm gonna make up a couple of these other ones so I can show you some different ways to finish them and style them and put them in your journal. Okay, at the most basic level, I think I could spend quite a bit of time going over collage and how I'm going to decorate each one specifically. I think that's really another video, like collage basics. And but I do want you to see that I may do one of these with you so you can kind of get an idea. Really, you could just even just attach the photo in your journal. That'd be just fine. But I want to start to begin to, at least for me, I'm going to I think I'm going to tackle this one because it's got the most room around here. So what I really want to do is consider that I'm going to have you know, when you create a little stack of a cluster. That's kind of what I'm going for, is to have it look like a little paper clip cluster, or with a, my bone folder isn't the best thing to be using with that, but this looks like a little cluster of papers. So however you yourself might, oops, I need a few other things to do that. You might do, even that makes a difference, but maybe so I just want to kind of show off the numbers here on this side here of this one. So I think so if you like the idea here of the clips, the two kits that I have, that actually there's 3 kits that have the cluster or these in them, the bulldog clips. So last year I did a photo kit and I think it's still free. It's a Belle Bloom's matte photo kit, and it has a ton of photo mats for adding photos to. That Belle Bloom's kit has a lot of photos in it, different photo collections. If you're someone that likes to work with photos, so it's in that one, and that's a freebie. I think that's still free on the site. So also Sophie's Crafty Corner, Sophie's Sovereign freebie from March, not from April, but from March. She's working with her spring bundle, and the spring bundle has, her Sovereign freebie has some of the clips that are more kind of, they're pastel, kind of like this one. So you can pick up a couple of clips there if you just want to kind of practice and play with that there. And because I'm picky here right now about where I would like things to show, I'm actually going to glue it. I could glue here, actually. I'm not going to glue on the back of my cabinet card. Glue it down here. So you could really build up your cluster if you wanted to. You can see that. It doesn't have to, I just wanted to do something quick and kind of show you how you can build a quick cluster with that. Be super cute with a little fussy cut. This doesn't go with that, but you know, you could add a fussy cut. These are just the ones I had on my desk right now, and maybe a little sentiment, but you could build a cluster. So I kind of want to move on from these because I wanted to show you what to do when you don't clipboards. So I'm going to decorate these, and you'll see these finished at the end, but I wanted you to see what you could do kind of with the cluster. So let's move on, and I want to show you some of these kind of clips. These are the ones that come, like I said, with the Sovereign freebie from Sophie, and they work the same as these ones that are included in that kit. Those are more the ones from the Spring Joy photos. That has a whole page of these in it too. Come like that. I've gone ahead right now with these. These are backed on cardboard, so I wanted to start there. I could do that with these, but it's the same concept. I just want you to see what I'm going to do with these really quickly. I've also used my circle punch, and I've punched out some cardboard. Okay, so I have a whole tutorial on my channel that teaches you how to create paper clips from, that are at any, where you don't have to pay attention. Anyways, they're hidden paper clips using the bulldog clips. This is actually one of those. So I want to show you, this is another way to do it, to create the cluster. But what I don't love is that oftentimes to create the cluster and hide the paper clip, it covers up some of your picture. So what do you do in that case, right? So here are some ideas for you. In that tutorial on the hidden paper clips, you can really make paper clips out of anything, for real, on that one. I am going to be using just this here. I've got a whole thing here. I like to use my tape. You can use masking tape. You could use washi tape, whatever it is that you like with your strength. But a lot of these clips, I tried to give enough room where you could hide a smaller paper clip. So what we're going to do, this is one way to use those, is the side that is the smallest side will go up against your bulldog clip, and you'll just hide it. Using the tape. So very simple way to do it. You can see that if I slide the tape on like this, that the back side is longer. It's going to hang off, but you'll just place this in the center and make sure that the paper clip is hidden fairly well. Not the part, the bottom part can hang off, but not the front part. And then all you do is trim it up. Oh, I cannot hang on to my scissors to save my life. Really need my tiny little ones. Okay, so that's another way to use them that way. And then sometimes what would be nice is to just have some of these made up if you want to, like me, I like to have photos on hand, and then I like to have some of these bulldog clip things for making clusters and stuff on hand also. So you can make some up that aren't specific to your journal. That's one way to do it, so that what you've got here is like you can actually place it anywhere you want, and then clip and create a cluster. You can use it to clip the photo or whatever it is, postcard or whatever your ephemera is in, and it actually makes a really sweet, all of these do, they make a really sweet, another way to use them is, so if you're clipping in your item, right, you can clip it like this on the side, and use it to also have a dangle on your journal. So I'm just kind of giving you an idea. This isn't like a finalized page, but you get the idea where you can add a dangle, but it also, it's actually kind of cute but functional paper clip. That's one way to use those. Let me also show you how those, it works the same way with these ones that I finished these. So you can kind of see these clipboards are really cute. They would also, not in this orientation, but they also look really cute as a tab if you hang something off those like this. So probably on this side of this journal on this way like this, like it would make a really cute pocket. I'm not sure, but this one I probably would glue in like this, like but you get the idea. Okay, so another way that these can be used, so some people actually prefer something like a brad. So if you're someone that prefers a brad, the way to do a brad for real on this one is to use some cardboard and essentially, okay, given the amount of time it's been on the video, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory as far as the brad goes. You can see that basically a brad can get glued to the cardboard and the cardboard can get glued here, and then it makes it really nice because you can clip that anywhere in your journal. You can do the same thing with Velcro, little Velcro strips, and I went to look for both of those, but I decided that like my craft space is still not even closely put together. I need so much help with that. Sometimes it takes me a while to find something, and then because everything doesn't have a place yet, and then I get distracted and I don't get to finishing what I need to do. So I'm just really, that's the basics of what I wanted to show you, and I think I'm just gonna let it go at that. So just a reminder, like really make these your own. So cut these out, make your own clusters, use your own backgrounds, make your own things. I really appreciate each and every one of you, those of you that join me. Hope I've inspired you in some way to work with the photos in your kits, maybe use some clips or alternative ways of making clusters. So appreciate your support. If what I've done today provided some inspiration for you, please like, maybe subscribe. If you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I upload a new video. And today I'm recording like 3 or 4 of them. So yeah, because I'm behind. Thanks so much for your patience with me and your support. Appreciate each and every one of you. The information on those freebies, that'll be in the description box below.